Comedy is one of the strangest crafts in storytelling. It asks writers to reveal the absurdity of life while making it feel painfully familiar. And perhaps most difficult of all, it asks performers to risk looking foolish in order to reveal something deeply, deeply human. Today on Cast on Q, we explore the art of comedy in the acting space. What makes it work, what makes it fail, and why making people laugh is often much harder than making them cry. My name is Brian Ogola, and welcome to Cast on Q. All right, joining us today are two incredible artists. First, we have Yafesi Musoke, a writer, actor, improviser, and comedian whose work spans radio, TV, theater, and film, and whose performance in The Play That Goes Wrong earned him Best Actor in a Lead Role at the recently concluded Kenya Theatre Awards. Right next to him, we have David Opondoe, a veteran, creative artist with over 3 decades in acting, directing, writing, and producing, known to many audiences from shows like Auntie Boss, Njoro, and Bwana Chairman. Gentlemen, welcome to Cast on Q.
Thank you very much.
Yafesi, please say hi to our fans and audiences.
Hi so much. Hi completely and inevitably. Yes, it's actually an honor to be here. Actually, the one I won recently was for writing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the other one, my first KTA was the one for acting.
Thank you for that
Recently
correction.
was
Thank you
for
for that
writing.
correction.
Hi.
David.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for that incredible intro. I'm very happy to be here. It's an honor to be part of this Cast on Q.
Yeah, karibuni sana. I have a much longer write-up of their bios, but I just want us to dive into the conversation because I can't read all of this today right now. Comedy. How did you guys find yourselves in comedy? Was it a natural gravitation? Or it was something you always just wanted to go to and be like, me, I know I'm funny and I want to do comedy?
When do you meet Omze? So we start with you.
No, it's you, the first. Anyway, comedy was not always my type of shows. I never at any one time thought that I was going to do comedy. But I guess maybe certain directors, producers thought I'm best suited for comedy. But I always thought that comedians are people who have funny faces, maybe big round eyes like him. Yeah, I don't know. Do I have a funny face?
Hey. You want the answer or the truth? So I've always made people laugh. Ever since I was a child. But it's not something I thought about because my family just had funny people. We were always making each other laugh.
Yeah.
But I never thought about it professionally. And also acting, how I got into it was very unconventional. So by the time you're getting into acting and everyone is saying you should be the clownish role or should play this role that makes people laugh, then that's when I started thinking about types of comedy. Maybe there's something people are seeing that I don't see. And I ended up just being thrown into different comical roles, which ended up bringing other stories because it was kind of effortless. So I didn't feel like I was learning.
All right, so speaking of types of comedy, slapstick to each of you, slapstick or satire?
Satire for me.
Yes, satire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Scripted or improv?
Improv.
Improv.
Really?
Yes, improv, but also scripted. Like he said, sometimes you don't think that you're funny. People, you just talk and people laugh at whatever you're saying or the way you're saying them.
Yeah.
And that's maybe you find yourself being thrown into scripted roles. Sometimes we just do it off script.
All right, so that makes me think of another question. What separates someone who's funny from someone who can actually perform comedy on stage? Are those two people synonymous? In terms of, are those two people always the same in terms of people who are funny can do comedy?
Sometimes being funny can prevent you from communicating comedy. There's a thing like just a practical scenario. Let's say this is a press conference. I'm giving a an announcement about, I don't know, COVID or something like that. So I'm giving a serious thing about hygiene, telling people how they should wash their hands, how they change their behavior and all that. And then you're behind me, you've zoned out and you start picking your nose. And then as you're doing that, you flick the book and it lands on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Now everyone can see that. And the reason it's funny is because it's a serious scenario with something funny happening in the background.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes what happens is a comedian or someone who thinks they're funny there's a funny scene or funny role in the script, and then they're trying to be funny on top of it. So it becomes a joke on a joke.
Yeah.
So like now, if you're picking your nose and all that, then I decide to clown around while making the announcement. Now it stops being funny because both of us are just doing funny things.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're better off having a funny script with a non-comedic actor than to have a comedic actor in a funny script or a comedic actor in a non-funny script. So sometimes it's like positive, negative,
Yeah.
negative, that kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, having my biggest background on stage, I always used to find myself when I'm cast on in a drama, and I walk on stage and people start laughing. So, and yet I'm supposed to be doing something very serious. So then later on, the directors and producers decided that this guy, should just be cast on comedy. So I did numerous comedic roles
All right.
on stage.
Okay, so when it comes to being funny, what about being not funny? Has that ever happened on stage or during a live performance where you're trying to be funny but you're bombing, or maybe you're saying the jokes and they're not landing? Has that ever happened?
That has happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
And probably that's what separates me from a live comedian. That's probably why I don't think I would do live comedy like the ones in Churchill show.
Yeah.
You know, where you just come and you're supposed to be making people laugh and they're not laughing. Yeah. It becomes very awkward. You find yourself, you are supposed to be making people laugh.
But how do you push through that? You know, because let's say you're supposed to make them laugh, but they're not laughing, and you came with prepared material, and joke after joke, it's not landing. It's not landing.
That's why for me, I say comedian. Sometimes you have to have a funny face.
You have a fallback plan.
You have a fallback plan.
Just make like a face.
Yeah. Politicians do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our late former Prime Minister Baba. He just walks on stage and he says, "Higher."
Yeah.
And people laugh. And he can say higher 3-4 times. People laugh. And he's probably not even saying anything big. So you have a fallback plan that will make people laugh. Yeah.
But now that comes with experience.
Yes.
And there's a saying that laughter is the shortest distance between two people. So if you're not making people laugh, there's a connection that wasn't established somewhere. Yeah. So like guys will come to a show, they're friends of yours, supporters, so they are already rooting for you. And so you might not be as funny, but they are not against you.
Yeah.
As opposed to total strangers, they don't know you from the next person. And then you come there with your written material, it's not landing because you haven't either studied the audience or you're delivering it poorly and all. Now that one is a bit harder to recover from, especially if you have a script to go through.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting observation. On stage, you have those fans of yours where when you walk in and you can hear them saying, "Oh my God, this guy is funny. This guy is funny." And they start laughing before you say anything.
It seems like both of you have interacted with enough, or you've scaled, your interaction with audiences has scaled enough for you to know if Kenyans have a particular type of sense of humor. You know, the way we know Brits like really sharp humor. Self-deprecating,
Yeah.
dark humor.
Yeah.
But for America, it's more slapstick, more body humor.
Yeah.
Have you guys had a feel of Kenyan audiences in terms of what do Kenyans typically laugh at? You know, what if you were to describe a Kenyan's sense of humor, how would you describe it?
Kenyans love cultural jokes. cultural and political jokes.
The political is also part of the culture.
Yeah.
Alafu tunapenda udaku.
Oh, okay.
It's like there's the humor that puts someone down, but as long as it's someone else, tuko sawa. So whether it's cultural or political, as long as it's that person, we can point and laugh because it's something we used to do in the playground. Mchongwano, you're told, let me not even go into the things we used to be told, but that kind of pointing and laughing. So it's not that we're laughing together.
Yeah.
It's more like, ha, 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 ha. So I ridicule myself for your amusement.
Yeah.
So they generally tend to like that at different degrees or different levels.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're performing and something completely unexpected makes people laugh, do you, if it's a play, do you deliberately try to add that to your next performance, or do you just let it flow and let the audience? Because I've noticed in performances sometimes the place where you expect audiences to laugh, they don't.
Yeah.
And then a space where you were talking about where you're supposed to be doing something completely serious, the audience can't help themselves. Are these moments that you encounter, do you plan for them, or do you think comedians can anticipate it when it's on text?
Sometimes when people laugh where you don't expect them to laugh, if it's a play that is running for several days,
Yeah.
I personally add it. I add it to the next play.
Yeah.
Because actually I try to improv on it to make it funnier. And it has always worked. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a director's nightmare for people to laugh at the wrong place or laugh at unexpected places, and then now the actors start changing the script to fish for laughs.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens, if it's a scripted one, just go with the play as it's written, because if you start looking for the laughs, you're getting out of character. Now you've broken the fourth wall. You're now looking for affirmation outside of the character role.
Yeah.
But improv, hey, that one now you adjust because you're there, no script. They liked that. Okay, that's the direction we're heading in.
Yeah.
And it has happened before, even when we're doing like BYSS. The audience just completely changes the direction of what you're doing because they find this funnier. And you're like, okay, we flow with that. You adapt.
Speaking of improv, what do you think improv does to a performer? Like, because I imagine it as practice, obviously, because there's a lot of trial and error. What do you think that adds to someone's, repertoire when it comes to tools, maybe as a performer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best things improv has done for me, because first of all, to do improv, you have to unlearn a lot of stage stuff that you learned. One of the biggest things we have is when you have a number of years of experience of doing it, you can actually like float through or go through the motions on stage, do things robotically.
Yeah.
Improv forces you to be present here, now. You're not thinking about a few minutes from now. You're not thinking about this hot nini that's coming up, here and now. So you have to listen to each other a lot. You have to listen to the audience. It forces you to be present rather than relying on, there's no fallback plan.
Yeah.
This is what we have, this is where we are, and we're in it together. So that's one of the biggest things it has done.
Do you have any experience with the improv?
Improv actually brings out the beast in you. Like you realize that did I do that? How did that happen?
Yeah.
So it makes you open your eyes more and realize that you can actually do things that you are not meant to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I ask my next question, which is basically about the state of comedy in Kenya, I have noticed a proliferation of comedians, especially stand-up comics. It is my observation that I think because of what you guys just said about improv and the practice of being in front of an audience and trying something out, even with the possibility of it failing, I tend to think that most comedians can make really good actors because of just the practice of interacting with a live audience.
Yeah.
A lot of the training happens there. Would you agree with that?
Yes, of course. It's probably because they don't have a chance or a place to express their talent. But there is a lot of... It's very interesting, the kind of comedy that Kenyans love. The kind of comedians that have come up. People you don't expect to have massive following.
Yeah.
Kenyans just love them. Yeah. And most of it is like we've said, cultural and political. And people can relate to that, and they can they see someone in that comedian.
Yeah.
And that's why they laugh.
That relatability is important because of connection. The comedian already has the connection with the audience. Now, not all comedians make that connection. Some of them come and do the thing the way they do it. But even when you switch now to acting, there can, depending on the type of actor, because still you have to come back to the type of actor someone is. There are comedians who can be character actors, and there are comedians who are just personality actors. So every role you give that comedian will be the same throughout.
Okay.
And then another comedian, you give them a role, they can go from extremely hilarious to really deep and like it can make you cry.
Yeah.
So even there are still types of abilities in acting, but the fundamental thing for a good comedian is connection with the audience, and that translates to screen, how they interpret things. Because in order to be a good comedian, you have to observe people a lot.
Yeah.
And so in your skits, you might imitate this teacher, imitate that politician, imitate this and that. That means you have a good understanding of people's behavior, and so it should be, in principle, easy to translate from comedy to acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyways, as ingine, it becomes very difficult for a comedian who's been cast in a film, a series. Na director anataka afuate hiyo script. Aingiani. Kabisa. Because you keep stopping the guy when he's building the momentum, then you tell him cut. Then he has to start again. What to try and make people laugh the way he knows.
What is happening there? Like, if we really think about nini inaendelea hapo, is it that this comedian is struggling to stay funny when it's scripted?
It could be, hey, you have because of the different types of comedy, you have to understand what makes this person funny in this scenario. If I'm on stage, hakuna context, niko peke yangu, I am funny because I can just switch. I'm just going with your imagination. Now we're talking about walking in towers. Nani alifanya hivi? Talking about politicians. But in a script, in a set, you have other actors and all. So if I do the same things, I will not be as funny. But if I stick to the script and work with a team, because it's not me alone over there. Yeah. So if I'm a brother, I'm a mother, if I'm slapped by this person, instead of making the funny face I would make in comedy, maybe this time I'm just supposed to react like stunned. And it's funnier if I'm stunned rather than, you have slapped me. You also have to get out of yourself, because now in acting, remember, you're taking on a role. As comedian, you're probably, it's you who shapes the character you're bringing. Yeah.
Okay, so talk about the current state of comedy in Kenyan acting.
Maybe I think we are trying too much to be like American comedians. But
really?
Yeah, but it's not.
No. What makes you say that? Nini nafanya useme hivyo?
Because there is in this era of social media and a lot of information, we get a lot of raw comedy from America, and we try to mimic, and it's not working. I think it's just we just better just stay the way we are. Tuko tu sawa.
Interesting.
No,
So, okay. I think it's one of the things, the bits of feedback that sometimes you get after doing a show. There are people who come to you and say, I didn't know this type of comedy existed in Kenya. So when you're doing, say, improv, you can do it in whichever language. You can do it in Swa, in Sheng, in vernacular, or whatever. But as long as you do it well, you do it professionally, the concept of improv, people are amazed that it exists here. Then now if you do other types of, if it's like a sitcom, because we've not yet cracked the You know, the ones we grew up watching, those types of sitcom setups on TV.
Yeah.
And then now globally, by the time you catch up with that globally, it is moving away from canned laughter and everything. So it's just accepting that Kenya is such a multicultural like mix.
Right.
So there are so many different types of comedy that there's no one size fits all. And so the state of it is there are lots of people experimenting.
Okay.
Unfortunately now, like the reviews, the online reviews, those are informed by a limited scope.
Okay.
So you're either Kenyan relatable or you're just for international audience.
Who's your favorite comedian, Kenyan? Both of you, I need an answer.
No, that's a trick question.
You can say yourself if you are afraid of saying. You can say I am
Sema huyu
myself.
jamaa. Then I lose fun. You'll be surprised the audience, the people who watch local shows or shows that are supposed to be are followed massively.
Yeah.
It is the masses. Watu wa kawaida ndio wana watch. They buy bundles of 5 shillings, 10 shillings to watch those clips.
Unadhani tuko ready kufanya vitu ka stand-up comedy? Like for someone, do you think there's any comedian who can do a 1 hour, 1.5 hour set?
First of all, I have done that. me as I am. I have done a 1 hour, 10 minute set.
What was your experience like, and what did you take away from it?
Hey, it was, first of all, it was very well received, but I had to do a lot of rehearsal.
Yeah.
Because it's prepared material. Go through it over. I had reviewing back and forth all the time, giving me feedback like, this is more relatable than this and all that. So that one was a bit less satisfying than, say, doing improv. Or like even emceeing an event. You know, you can turn an MC gig, a corporate gig, into a high-end comedy event. Yes. And you structure it in such a way that by the end of it, people are like, I loved the show. They're talking about the MC at a corporate gig.
Yeah.
And so there are many ways of formatting your but it also takes research, a lot of research. And sometimes people just go thinking they want to appear like Dave Chappelle. They want to sound like whoever, Kevin Hart or Josh Johnson or whoever they're watching. Rather than how do what do people see me as, and also what is my story? What's my voice in the space of comedy? I'm not just going there to be funny. There are many funny people. Do I actually have something to say in the comedy space? So that's also something that we shouldn't separate.
Okay.
I have something to say, and so this is my voice.
Ushawahi is a ribu stand-up?
That, to me, that is very bold.
Yeah.
That was a bold move. I don't know how you put it. Because even in corporate MCs, I've done many corporate MCs. It's not easy to just keep the flow going and make people happy, laugh throughout.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a corporate event where people they're not interested in laughing. And you come there to try and make jokes, and there's you can see guys just get on with it.
Okay.
You know? But a Kenyan to do a 1 man, 1 hour stand-up comedy, I way, boss.
By the way.
I think Njugush also did one.
He
right?
did. Yeah, he did.
He's done a number,
Yeah. Those are bold moves.
Yeah, because for me, I'm just thinking about it in terms of it really seems like the next step for comedy, especially now that so many comedians are trying it out, is for specials, whether it's a 1 hour special. And I mean, I think if enough of them keep trying it out, one of them is going to knock it out of the park. And all of a sudden it's going to be a thing where, oh my gosh, did you see Yafesi's previous special? Hey, when the next one coming? And I think that spurs a lot of growth in the space.
Yes.
For sure.
And,
But
sorry. And if we are to look at which side of your butter is breaded, like, which side of your bread is buttered?
Ni sawa.
Ni sawa.
Ni sawa.
Yeah. If you are to look at that, because lazima upate ka kitu.
yeah.
Now, if you look at all the organizing costs and the amount of money you're going to spend to do all this, hiring the space, then you think about how much you're going to charge the audience. It becomes very difficult. So sometimes when people like the ones you've mentioned who've done single person comedy, they have sponsors. They come with the endorsement, you know?
Yeah.
So by the time you're charging people the affordable rate, you've already sort of recouped your money. Yeah.
Your money.
So that you go home with something. It's all about bread and butter.
You can recover your costs. Well, not recover your costs. You can actually
Break even.
risk, what is it called?
Break even.
Assessing the risk assessment. So you have, there are actually like stand-up collective, a few other like stand-up groups where they have things like open mic. So like you can come there, you just practice, just do 7 minutes. Can you make people laugh for 7 minutes? Start there. Can you make them laugh for 15 minutes? So this open mic, there's no cost to you. You show up, make people laugh, you get feedback on a smaller scale. You're like, okay, this is not funny. You come back, you hone your skill. By the time now you know, in fact, this works, compile the ones that work.
Yeah.
It adds up to about an hour. And by that time, you already have people who have seen you in action. So now when you do call and say, I'm charging 1,000 bob or 2,000 bob, there's already a group that's thinking, that's worth it. Let me go see if you can do a whole hour. And they bring friends.
Okay, speaking of what makes it worth it and what doesn't, do you think people take comedy seriously in Kenya? Like the people who are actually trying to do it?
The comedians or the audience. Because one of the things, I'm sure even you've encountered this.
Yeah.
If anyone sees you in a comedic role, they think that's all you are. So
Huyu ni yule jamaa wa mchezo.
alafu wanakuuliza ati, are you ever serious?
Yeah.
Like, so you're like, okay, fine. Seriousness, first of all, is not a facial
This guy is a
expression.
comedian, he's a joker.
Just because of your facial expression doesn't mean you're serious.
Yeah.
And then also it's a just because you're serious doesn't mean you have to be boring. So the comedians take it seriously. It's just that the environment you're in, you're thinking practically, will this pay my rent? See, bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Will this, yeah.
Are we funny in our mother tongues?
I think so.
You are funny in the language you're most comfortable communicating in.
What do you think that means in a space where there's Nairobi, where people are speaking a mix of languages, whether it's Kiswahili, English, and their own mother tongue? What do you think that does to the culture? Do you think it's pushing us further away from the mother tongue or bringing us back to the mother tongue? Inaturudisha home kweli, because both of you have just agreed we are funnier in our mother tongue.
You know, we're funnier in the language we communicate in the best. Kuna watu bana mother tongue kuambia ati do a show, even a scene in a film hawezi.
Yeah.
But sometimes Kenyans find a person funnier when you're doing another mother tongue that's not yours. Yeah. Like you remember people like where we started, people like Ojwang. Ojwang was mimicking the Luo, yet he's not.
It is not low.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Kenyans find that very funny and very interesting. That this guy is actually not our ear.
But anaipiga kupiga.
Anaitabaka anaipiga mbaya sana.
All right.
They just like the implication. Actually, it's very interesting. Now that he's brought that up. So, mother tongue and accent. So those sometimes are two different things.
Yeah.
There's a comedian from Uganda. I won't name them. I actually, like that comedian was big in Kenya for a while. Like massive. Always partnerships everywhere, endorsements, need. So there was a time I went to UG and asked them about this comedian. And they said they don't find that comedian funny at all. So I was like, okay, what's happening? And they're like, well, apart from, as in there's nothing that comedian says that is funny.
Yeah.
So I went back and listened to the material. And it turns out the thing that made Kenyans laugh was the accent. That Ugandan accent. You are busy telling the people to do some things in a particular way.
Yeah.
But the actual story or content is not. So someone who doesn't hear the accent, like a Ugandan won't hear that those particular things, see? Them, they're just hearing you speaking English.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you're saying. So the same thing with the people saying maybe like I can be talking like this in this particular accent, and someone is laughing at the accent. But what I'm saying is not exactly what are you calling? it's not worth the math.
Yeah.
It's called the math.
The
The
butter
math
and
is
the
not
bread.
Math is not mathing, not mathematics. Math, MIRTH.
All right. Given that, do you think Kenyan comedy can then travel internationally? Answer honestly. Tuseme ukweli tu,
Okay.
usiji self-edit. I'm
Bado-
seeing your face is self-edit.
Bado kidogo.
Bado kidogo.
Yes.
Okay, but that's the assumption that it's going as it is. Any audience you go to, even within Kenya, you have to adapt, adjust your delivery or your comedy. If you're in a corporate setting, you kind of deliver differently from if you're talking to university students or in a party type setting. So if you do enough research, then you should be able to connect with different audiences. But what's the connection point? So if I go to Germany and start talking about Mutura,
They don't even understand it.
no, they don't understand what Mutura is. But then if I
Maya Igonga.
find something like Borvo is a German.
Yeah.
No, but someone like Basket Mouth. Basket Mouth has toured even to countries like Kenya.
Yeah, even Trevor Noah. All
I mean,
different.
the drunk.
And they still maintain some of their culture, whether it's South African or Nigerian, in their sets.
So now you have to understand, like how say someone, let's say Trevor Noah, or even Basket Mouth, when they travel to a place, they don't arrive on the night of the show and then go on stage.
Oh, they are there for several
They are
days.
there, they interact with people, they go to shops, they go to the street vendors, talk to cab drivers, just to find out the vibe of the city or the place. And this is what people like and all that. Because you have stuff you've Googled, but qua ground, you have to actually. And then now, by the time you get on stage, you're talking to them about stuff that they can relate to in their space.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of body language. Physical comic, facial expressions. And people love that.
Okay. Screen or theater, where is it easier to be funny?
Hey, for me, theater.
Theater.
On stage?
Yes.
Is it because of the immediate feedback?
Yes. And the fact that you can't stop. There's no etiquette.
Yeah.
Who made a sound? No.
And people are laughing for real.
People are laughing.
That actual laughter gives you motivation. It gives you, comedians have personally, I get stage fright when I am addressing, when I'm in front of a very big crowd, until I get connected with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then now it just flows.
So would you say kuna tofauti kati ya a comedian and a comedy actor?
Yes. For me, yes.
What's the difference?
So a comedy actor understands. See, the thing with comedy, there's timing, there's space, because there are different types. There's physical, there's dark humor, there's spatial comedy where it involves space. There's slapsticks, pun, wordplay, all that stuff. A comedy actor understands where all those land. Like, for instance, an international example, Naked Gun, the movie, Leslie Nielsen. He's not a comedian, but he can do comedy acting. And so that understanding how to deliver a line in that particular moment with the timing and all, it makes it hilarious. Now you put someone like Kevin Hart into a role and you don't even remember the name of the character. You're just in Kevin Hart. So he does comedy his way. He does his style. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you something. So he has his way of doing his comic delivery. But it's based on his comedy. Or as a comedian, his profession as a comedian.
Can you teach someone to be funny? Because he just said something about there being a difference between a comedian and a comedy actor. Meaning a comedy actor is maybe someone who probably started not being funny at all, or someone who is generally not funny.
Yeah.
But they're very competent when you give them good material.
Yeah.
They are very good writers and very good directors who can make a comedian very funny on stage and on screen.
But can you teach someone how to be funny?
It's difficult. You have to have it fast
On their own.
on your own.
On their own, it's hard to teach them to be funny. But you can teach them to trust either the process or the script or the director. It's trust the people in the team who understand comedy and how to deliver it. You just do your part.
All right.
We've seen that live. We called up, like you're doing improv and you call someone on stage and they freeze. Even after you've given them the exact instructions to follow. Because they think they have to be funny.
Yeah.
And so they freeze trying to be funny instead of just following instructions, and it would have been hilarious just by being themselves.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back after this short break. Cast on Cue is a Kenya Actors Guild initiative. This is a community that is being built for the actors by the actors. And by the way, if you're enjoying these conversations, please follow us on our socials, Cast on Cue, where you'll be able to find all BTS content and extra content from our page. That's where they live. And if you are an organization out there or a group or an individual who is feeling sufficiently philanthropic, we would really love to hear from you as a potential sponsor or partner for this podcast. Thank you so much for watching. All right, back to the conversation.
We'll be hosting Kalasha between the 28th of April all the way to the 2nd of May. The call for submission is currently open. You have up until the 13th of February for you to have submitted your entry. All those who will be participating at Kalasha will have an avenue to access various stories that Kenya Film Commission will be presenting to you. I want to welcome you to this magnificent event.
Let's see who wins. Let's see who takes home the crown.
Welcome back to the show. Before we went on a break, we were just discussing comedy, different topics. We were actually talking about writing and timing in comedy. How important are those things?
Extremely essential.
Extremely essential.
Comedy has, in my head, it has a rhythm. So someone is talking, and then it's either the rhythm is broken or interrupted, so you're caught off guard and you laugh, or it has a nice landing, and then now you laugh. So timing is also important it's because of speech patterns.
Yeah.
So the way we talk. So you might find a comedian hilarious, but because they have an accent whose rhythm is different from what you're used to, you'll struggle to connect. So they're making you laugh, they're saying the right things, but it's not landing.
Lakini it sounds to me ni kama mnasema you can't really be taught comedy. Because how do you teach someone timing? You know what I mean?
You have to do a lot of research in comedy. A lot. Even the people you're coming to engage with, if you're doing stand-up comedy, you want to make people laugh in a certain area, research. That's the mistake people make. Because you come there and sometimes you might make a joke that is not funny to those people.
Yeah.
You think it's a joke, but it's a very sensitive thing that can make you get stoned. Of course, we talk about we want our money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, that being said, what do you guys think about comedy writers in Kenya?
They are very funny writers. They are hilarious writers.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe they are just not given more time, more platform to write comedy. Because they don't think that comedy will. A lot of the shows that we have are very dramatic. Drama.
Yes.
We have a lot of drama.
Yes.
It's revolving around love, witchcraft. We are getting to Nigeria, but the comedy writers, if they are given a chance, I'm very sure we will have a lot of hilarious shows.
I've actually interacted with them. A lot of so so you write. Let's say you're writing a script for TV or for stage or whatever. The thing is, you don't just write a script for fun, just to have it on the shelf. So most likely you're writing it so that it's produced by this platform or so that so that it can go on air.
Yeah.
But now if you get there and the people who are funding it, or they tell you,
Yes.
no, this is what's funny.
Yeah.
This is what Kenyans find funny. Change this, change that. And you disagree because you have something you're trying to say. There's something in the character you're trying to communicate, or the scenario, the situation, and you've done your research. I mean, this is a profession.
Coming from where we've come from as an industry, the sponsors, the producers, if it's a TV station, they dictate a lot on what the content that we give them. So, for example, a writer will write a very funny story, very interesting, relatable. People will laugh. But then you take it to the producers, they think, pana, haiwezi hapa tutaki mchezo. You know, this station is about this. Unajua hii. And it's the same thing that you tell your parents that you're a comedian. They think you're joking. Until now, the bread and butter starts coming in and they say, mtoto wetu amekuja.
It's true.
But before, your parents, when they're introducing you, they're introducing the children. They say, "This is my son. This is my son, Brian. He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, this one.
This is Doctor so and
Doctor so and so. Lakini huyu mwingine.
This one is
Bado
still,
tunajaribu kumtafutia mahali. Yeah, anafanya hii mchezo. Yeah, mnaita aje hiyo? Yes. Comedy.
Ako kwa TV.
Kwa TV.
But,
yeah.
For now.
Sijui hiyo mchezo yao inaitwa aje, but yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Now that's a problem.
Where do you guys think modern comedy started or began? Because I know I know both of you are older than me, but I keep meeting people who have never heard of Yoja. They don't know Mzee Ojwang.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of times I have to remind myself, you're not young anymore, strictly speaking, Brian. Yeah. So for you guys, where do you think comedy, especially on screen, started here in Kenya?
Hey, for me, I think just before COVID.
Comedy?
Modern, like the
modern
comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's recent.
Yeah, because before in the 90s, those guys were very hilarious. They were.
But that was not modern at all.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
But they were very hilarious.
Extremely.
Yeah.
It was very... Okay, there was a period, the 80s, and this is even across Africa. The arts were really suppressed, especially live performance or film and all.
Government.
It's like it didn't exist because a combination of things. There was government oppression where you don't... the time Ridiculous first came out, people were scared. This guy's imitating Moi. Even you, if you're caught watching, you're thinking you'll be arrested for watching TV.
Yeah.
But there was a time when... remember, 60s, 70s, African countries were gaining independence. But of course, these people didn't live raw safi. Waliachama loans hapo, walisema ati we'll come back for these loans in 10, 15 years. Now, to pay back those loans, when they come calling for that, this is now 80s, around there. That's when people are calling. You're going to invest in what? An auditorium. You're going to invest in what? Yeah. Invest in things that you can show these guys, hey, look, there's a bridge, there's a road, there's something. And if we default on the loan, you guys take over this bridge, this road, and all that. Auditoriums were not given any priority. And so now when you come to comedy, the beginnings, Akina Ridiculous, Akina, who are the ones in the streets? Nyegese. Yeah. All the Black Angels, all those guys. They had to find ways in the streets or wherever it is and just imitate things that are safe.
You guys have said Black Angels.
Black Angels.
Black Angels.
Who else knows Black Angels in this room? Look.
Zankalewa. Those guys were funny on the streets.
Yeah. Yes.
And they were just performing randomly at street corners. Na jamaa wanawatupia tu ma coins.
Yeah.
And they had to exaggerate.
Yeah.
Painting the faces white so you know it's performance. Okay, sawa.
But when you come to theater, like where I started from at Phoenix, it was very controlled. Like their shows you could not touch. There was for a long time, Phoenix players could not touch local plays. No way.
Who determined that? The government.
Partly the government. They could not even perform like they couldn't touch. Local plays were Kinangugi wa Thiongo, very controversial. They couldn't touch because if you touch that, they close. And you had to take your script to the Kenya Film Censorship Board first. They read it, and then they tell you will perform it. Sometimes they could come to the National Theatre and stop shows and arrest everyone, the cast and crew. But at Phoenix, you could not do. We used to do Samuel French, English shows only. And the audience determined that. Late 90s, probably that's when we did the first Kenyan play. And it was ilikuwa ni cross fingers that will get audience. Yeah? So it was a combination of many things. Even the audience determined.
Yeah.
What otherwise hawa kina Nyengese ni watu wa streets.
Yeah.
They depended on coins to be thrown at them.
Yeah.
Sasa hao walikuwa ni watu tu wa kawaida tu.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to be serious, where guys are coming to a theater to watch a show, you had to fuata
Phoenix.
the script.
And you mentioned Ridiculous. I remember Ridiculous. And for me, I think that for me was now modern Kenyan screen comedy. That was for me the beginning because I had never really seen anything like that since I was born.
Yes.
What do you think people like Akina Ridiculous, Viojama, Kamani, all these people who came before us, what do you think they got right in comedy? Let's start with some people like Ridiculous, because I can't remember an episode of Ridiculous that was not funny.
They took risks.
Ridiculous took risks. The other guys, Kina Vioja, Tama Bintama, they were being themselves. They were not, their shows were not scripted.
It was improv.
Improv.
Completely improv. You come in, and it was live.
As in mnafika job,
Mnafika,
mnapanga haya, nani
Sasa
leo yuko?
Yeah.
Wewe leo
Utasema hivi.
wewe utakuwa baba leo.
Yeah.
Wewe kwa police.
Yeah.
And they do it.
And they
Just
do it.
like that. And it flows.
Like the only guide they had for Vioja was, this is the law we're going to focus on. We're going to highlight this bylaw or this whatever. So now the rest, you revolve around that. You find, people are fighting over a roundabout.
Yeah.
Fighting over I don't know what.
Yeah.
Then you be as silly as you want. Hey, by the way, that judge, respect. How she kept a straight face in that.
In that courtroom, yeah.
Throughout.
Throughout.
She never cracked a smile. You mentioned something about, because fast forward to today, there's a proliferation of drama shows and not so much comedy. I think comedy still exists in its own kind of space on stage, whether it's heartstrings or any other outfits. When it comes to today, do you think comedy is still more commercially viable than drama? Or what do you think is informing that decision of corporates tending to shift towards drama shows?
There's so both of them working together are viable. The thing that we were chastised for by, there was a time there was a meeting of East African producers. So people from TZ, people from UG, Kenya, they all met together. And there's someone from TZ who stood up and said, nashukuru watu wa Kenya hapa, umefika, sijui what. But the guy is saying, ati technology mko nayo. Kara safi sana. The sound, all those things. And the people look very beautiful. Very beautiful. Lakini story hamna. So now he's saying that's where TZ shindas us.
Yeah.
Story hamna. So at the end of it, even with comedies, there's a shortage. I've worked with a lot of writers. There are people who are there who can write both drama and comedy. But sometimes they tend to isolate. You're either writing a comedy or a drama instead of combining. But the bigger thing is, can you tell a story using comedy?
Yeah.
Generally in life, there are people laughing everywhere. But if you go and ask a group of people, you're walking past a table outside, maybe in a kibanda, and you ask them, mnacheka nini? They look at you first of all like, where do we start? So it's not necessarily jokes they were laughing at. There's a story that had a common connection. That now to say, okay, Sistake, how do we explain to you? You had to be there. And comedy serves to create that kind of environment where the audience is brought together. sistake, sijui nani amefanya hivi nini. And then we come together. This funny moment is not even a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a punchline that was brought. It's actually a situation that we laugh at, and you can't explain it like, amesema hivi.
It's a serious event.
It's a whole bunch of things. So even combining drama and comedy is possible. It's just that the license to do that or the permission to do that, because these guys are either asking for a comedy or a drama. And so the exploration, the writers sometimes feel, in order to do it, you have to take risks, you have to be hard-headed, you have to take a hit financially to try and show the possibilities.
We also watched a lot of soap operas, the Mexican, Spanish.
Yes.
So those ones determined a lot in the way Kenyan writers write.
And the appetites.
And the appetites. So then people started writing more about love and murder and hatred, situationships, things like that. Then they sort of left the comedy somewhere in a corner, and now they're slowly trying to come and pick kidogo here because the audience wants it.
Yeah. Yes.
People want to laugh. It's very, very, very good feeling to know that you make people happy, and people laugh when they see you. People laugh at your jokes, which sometimes you don't even find funny. That your stories, the way you say them, in this world, crazy world full of misery and things like that.
Something interesting about you, David.
Yes.
You see, in my eyes, I would not cast you as a comic relief type of character. Me as a even a gangster role. Yeah. And so that leads me to my next question about being typecast.
Yeah.
The thing with being funny is that once people know you're funny, they don't really want to see you as anything else.
Yes.
Sindio?
That's very bad.
Exactly.
It's a very bad.
I need you to speak to that experience. Has that happened to you?
Yes, it's a very bad situation that's happening to me personally.
Currently, as we speak.
Yeah.
They don't want to cast me in serious roles. Na mimi nipatie naweza lia.
Si tulikupatia serious role.
Kapana bado iko serious kabisa. Yeah. You have to give me more gangster, nipatie ni madimsi. Unaona?
Ufanye kitu
nifanye
serious.
kitu noma. Niko hata nini? Niko El Mencho. Yeah, kitu kama hiyo. El Diablo. Nipange vile watu wanaenda kunini. Now these guys, kila mtu anaangalia tu,
That's the guy.
That's the guy. Yeah? It's okay.
I guess people want to put you in a box because that's how they manage people. They manage things around them. Even in the office, the corporate world. Wow. Like they want to be guided in how to behave, how to interact with customers, how to interact with workmates and everything. So they take that into everything else. There was an event I attended for medics, doctors. It was a product launch. So now usually doctors, they deal with a lot of sales reps. Kuna dawa mpya, sijui inafanya nini. But this one now was, these guys decided instead of going to their offices, bring these doctors here, host a big event for them.
And then bring a comedian MC.
Me, I'm a very serious. Anyway, so I walk in, and at the very beginning of the event, I say something funny. Now, my style of comedy is kind of misdirection. Yeah. So I start out taking you in one direction. You think you know what's coming, and then I subvert expectations, and then so they kind of were startled because some of them burst out laughing. Then they're like, "Oh, you didn't inform us that we're entering the informal session." Like, as in to just laugh at something because you find it funny, you have to get permission.
Yeah.
So sometimes seeing someone as anything other than a comedic actor, like the way Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad, people only knew him as a comedian.
Exactly.
And then now they're seeing him in a role that is proper serious. So that's even your approach to just human beings in general.
How, because I'm sure there's an actor out there who probably started out on that path. Alianza, everyone is just calling them, hey, umse ni cartoon, hey, umse ni mfani. And now they're stuck as a typecast. How are you handling that? What are you doing to try and change that? Are you trying out more dramatic roles?
Producers always think that I'm supposed to be funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why you've not seen me in other shows in recent times.
Yeah.
Apart from Bwana Chairman, which is supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But I probably do very good role play in a drama.
Yeah. Like a dramatic character.
Yes.
Too serious. Yeah.
Waniweke, please.
Ndio hii kamera yako ndio ile sema wakuweke.
Yes. Yeah. My name is David Opondoe. I have many years experience in.
But why is he being funny still? You're auditioning for a
Mkinipea
dramatic
hii
role.
chance.
Juu hajapewa script. It's okay.
Hajapewa script.
So it's okay.
Producers mmesikia, si ndio? Kwa hapa. I'm available to shoot, ready to shoot. Hii mwaka.
If to change pace kiasi, social media. Of course, right now we know, I think Kenyans are the biggest consumers of data in, I think, most of Africa.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has happened in the last 5 or 10 years. So there's been a proliferation of skits, online content, especially funny skits. Everyone online right now is doing a funny skit, either whether it's end goal wanting to have corporate sponsors or influencing gigs. Is it a net good? Is it a net positive for comedy, or do you think it's not helping comedy?
It has. There is a group that it has killed. You know, the current generation is so dynamic. You'll tell them something today, and after a few days, they don't want to hear about it. They're like this. You can't really know what they want, but they're on phone throughout. So you have to it's called timing. Just know what to tell them at the right time, and you'll.
But hiyo ndo kitu nauliza wa
Yes.
Davy, because it seems like we can all agree that our attention span has been shrinking. You get? And the way jokes work, oftentimes there has to be a setup and a payout.
Yes.
Ndio? Meaning if your joke is longer than 15 seconds, or what TikTok will allow, it means people are probably not going to pay attention to that. And that's what I'm asking. Like, do you think that is helping comedy, or do you think, because there has been a proliferation of people who are funny or playing caricatures in their skits. But what do you think that is actually doing to comedy? Is it helping comedy? Inatusaidia ama inarudisha watu bado?
inafanya watu wakwe inakusuppress, because sometimes the comedy is a build up. It's supposed to use, sometimes the joke is in the 20th second, and you are cut at 15
And beyond, and you're cut at 15.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look at analytics, they show you how many people watched to the end. But then there's something, okay, this is just a personal feeling. Something happened between 2020 and 2021 that fundamentally changed how we interact with each other and how we consume any sort of media. It became a lot more selfish. So my attention span increases when I'm able to do things as a group. So like people in a stadium watching a football match. Where else are you going to sit for 90 plus minutes? Just, watching something.
Yeah.
When you go to a movie, like a cinema, you're inside, it's dark, it's closed off. So, and if you start making noise, people are shh.
Yeah.
So you're forced to watch 2-3 hours Avengers for however long, or what was the other one, the Irish Ninis, that's a movie marathon.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to do that? So even things like movie halls, entering and keeping your attention there, that was a thing that we used to do. Once we got into our phones, now it became more selfish. So there's short attention span, less tolerance for setups and all that. So these slow burn kind of movies or presentations or videos, people are like, move to the next thing. This is exciting immediately. Next thing. This is exciting. People are even trying to format shows, understanding that people will watch TV, a few seconds they go to their phone.
You pause.
So you simplify the script. So that every time I look up, unani update. Remember when you told me this, what, like the soap opera. So all the scripts are being pushed towards the soap opera style, where it's just almost static. Because guys they're like, they've accepted. Their attention spans are gone. But then now when, I guess it's last year that people started getting back to, come on, let's go back to live events. Let's meet again. Let's have community. Because some of them finished Netflix, they finished TikTok and all. So there's nothing else to watch. And so comedy does suffer.
Yeah.
It does.
It has
Yeah.
suffered that community vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we laugh together. And that makes the laughter. You know, when you laugh together, the laughter becomes good.
Yeah.
Now you can
You
open your
feel
mouth.
good. You open
Yes.
your mouth wide.
Yeah.
Laughter is infectious.
For sure it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of social media, I have to ask about cancel culture. Both of you are familiar with the term cancel culture, right?
Yes.
Dave Chappelle has spoken of it, complained of it, and numerous other comedians. Ongelea to cancel culture. What do you think it's doing to comedy? And yeah, just speak on it.
Yeah. So comedy, as we've mentioned already, is good comedy at least, is about taking risks. Sometimes it's even approaching taboo topics or things that would not ordinarily be spoken about. Now, I as a comedian or as a comedic professional, I don't come professing to know everything. Like I am, like if you're a comedian at age 20, you don't know everything. Even at age 40, you don't know everything. Even at age 70, you don't know everything. So there are some things that you will say that might obviously rub some people the wrong way. However, cancel culture, what it does is it eliminates the opportunity for me to learn, for me to make amends, to even if it's to apologize and realize, oh, I did not know this. In all the research I did not know that this is an issue that offends this group of people. And so there's no opportunity to say, okay, I've learned. Now I'm better and here I am.
Yeah.
Now you have to go back to, please, uncancel me. Allow me back into the
Society
community.
and community.
Yeah.
I think it suppresses the comedians. It makes them less creative and not. They cannot. Comedians are not able to say what they want to say
And take those risks.
risks. Maybe you wanted to say something comically, which now you
Sasa
stop.
sasa unajishikilia huko like, I won't say that.
People are scared.
So both of you have agreed that cancel culture is wrong or bad. Cancel culture here meaning basically deplatforming and ostracizing of an individual for either comments they said, whether they are deemed to be anti-Semitic, racist, sexist, whatever. It's usually for utterances that you've made, said verbally, or tweeted, or put out there on the social interwebs. That's what cancel culture is. Both of you have agreed that it is wrong. The counter question to that would be, should comedians and actors have basically a carte blanche? Like, should you be allowed to say whatever, wherever, as long as you're trying to make people laugh?
I think it's very unfair for comedians because politicians get away with it all the time. They say it in a crowd on audience of 5,000, 10,000 people, saying bad things on stage, and they get away with it. Here, a comedian is performing to a live audience of 200, 500 people, and you're suppressing his. You're trying to make, because he's scared that what if this rubs these people the wrong way.
So are you saying a comedian should be allowed just like a politician is allowed?
Yeah, I think it's comedy. That's why it's comedy. It's a joke.
For me, the way I look at it is the way we had said, remember, laughter, shortest distance between two people. So there has to be connection.
Yeah.
So if I just come with my own material, regardless of whether you find it offensive or not, I'm going to say it. Okay, then maybe this is not my audience. So comedians have to find their audience. You might say some offensive things in some places and people will laugh and they love it. And the one or two people who are offended become even part of the set. You even incorporate them and say, you see, you people are like this, like this. But there are spaces where even the way we talk just in life in general, we talk very differently to our parents, the way we talk to our workmates or old classmates. And yet we might make all of them laugh, but there's different material we present. So as a comedian, who is your audience? Because if you offend people to the point where they are no longer coming for your shows, have you really made your point?
But I think also if you talk about ridiculous, I should thank the former President Moi for that, because he accepted. He accepted to be mimicked and to be joked around with.
Yeah.
And then that's when now his politicians, his henchmen, accepted, because before that they were arresting comedians. Yeah. Ulikuwa unasema nini juu yangu? But once the president himself accepted, and he used to invite ridiculous to State House.
So I think nyote wawili mnakubaliana kwamba there is a line. I think for David there's no line.
There's a line that should be crossed.
There's a line.
He looks for the line in order to cross it.
So for you, Yafesi, I'm hearing more like there's definitely a line.
There's a line. For every type of comedian, there is a line.
So who gets to determine where that line is? Is it the audience or the comedian?
Connection. If the audience thinks that line, no. Imagine, no. Apo, mekata. Then now you know that this audience. So do you go look for a new audience, or do you adapt to this audience? So the line is dependent on where you are. If you say, kaeni na nini zenu, and you go look for another audience, now you have to find the line with that audience. Then you have to find another line. You keep finding lines.
Yeah.
Or you stick to your audience and know, okay, this is the line. Then they're like, so it can be pushed a bit. Okay, so you expand kidogo. Just generally, that's how we are. There are things we say now, even in movies. What was that movie? Casablanca, where there was controversy because the character said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. No one had ever, on screen, how are you saying damn? Nowadays, what things are being said on screen.
Yeah.
So it's finding that line with your audience and not doing it just for the sake of clout chasing. You can say controversial things just to get the reaction. But is that sustainable? Do you actually have something to say?
For you, the line should be crossed.
Well, they've crossed it already. Most shows you watch these days, it's even, I'm scared to watch any Netflix movie or series with my children. Yet it's written 13, 16. I'm still scared because 16 you'll find very...
Yeah.
Hey, 16.
16 you don't.
Yeah.
Still 13.
Yeah.
You'll still find something that's very, very scary. So those lines they're being crossed every day. And unfortunately, that's what Netflix wants.
But see, they reward if
Yes.
there's crossing the line and getting rewarded.
They reward that line.
So if you cross and don't get rewarded,
Yeah. What if one day you cross the line and they're just like, we don't want David Opondoe, we don't want
I think that's
cancel culture. We don't want him. Why is this guy on our show? Take him off. Because that has happened to people even in our industry.
Yes.
in showbiz, good news and bad news is good news.
So there's no such thing as
Bad publicity.
bad publicity.
Yes, bad publicity, good publicity is good news
the same
for any creative. The more people talk about you, whether they talk badly about you, nicely about you, that's when you'll make it. If people don't talk badly about you, then you're nowhere. If you don't have haters in the industry, wewe hujafika bana.
Is there a joke that is bad enough, in your own opinion, for it to ruin or to rob a comedian or an actor of their
For
career?
me, I think personal, like deformity jokes. For me, those ones they are too sensitive. Jokes to do with disability, yes. Jokes to do with birth control. Those are not good jokes because they affect everybody.
So you wouldn't crack a joke about condoms?
No, condoms is not disability.
No, you said birth control. Sasa,
I mean, if we cracked a joke, about alcoholism or drugs,
Yeah.
that is okay. Because, I mean, everybody, most families have an alcoholic or a drug addict in
Sadly
the,
true.
and if you don't see one, it's you. So you face equality.
No, it's okay. There are jokes that there are things you shouldn't joke about.
Yeah.
Things to do with gender-based violence, rape. Yeah, we've talked about disability and all that. So there are things that, and yet you have, like for instance, the U.S. president. He mocked someone who was disabled.
Then
He cancelled by who,
Cancelled
where,
by
what, and yet he uses the same cancel culture as a weapon. So anyone just criticizes him policy-wise. Like you've even put diplomatic language. Hey, as in Chica Huyo.
that's what I said about the lines have been crossed. They've crossed the lines.
But you see, the thing, what's coming out clearly, ni,
The reward.
kuna, I think, do you know the way there's a famous line in Man of Steel where the lady says to a soldier, a good death is its own reward. And I think the same applies to a good joke. A good joke is its own reward in terms of if you get the laughs, people won't cancel you. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what you are joking about. You could have been joking about disability, grape. We say grape on this show because this is a YouTube platform and we might get notifications and community guidelines if we actually say the word grape.
Oh, it's
but
grape.
you guys know what we mean by that word. Yeah, so if you make jokes around those things, it seems to me like if people laugh, home free.
Even if they're laughing under the table.
Yeah, even if they're laughing under the table, and I think the same thing happened when Trump did that, impersonating, a lot of people laughed at it.
So he appealed to a certain...
To a certain group, yeah.
So do you think sometimes laughs kind of make that line to be a little bit vague, or you can't really determine where the line is?
So whether the laugh is nervous laughter or actual enjoyment laughter or just a way to break the awkwardness. Because there are people who just laugh so that they're not pointed out as not laughing or not agreeing with what we're doing.
Yeah.
So now they become the subject and they don't want that. But maybe those ones would talk silently with their money. So next time I'm not coming for this show.
Yeah.
Things like so there are people like that. But cancel culture is where I deliberately say, I don't want you on my stage.
Yeah.
I don't want you in my space. So that's how
Sasa umeua livelihood ya mtu for,
And so I guess that the issue of cancel culture brings me to my final question about comedy. They say comedy draws a lot from absurdities in life, absurdities and pain. Each of you, I'd just like you to speak on that. Like, where do you think comedy actually comes from? Is it legit? Like, is it the source of comedy pain?
Source of comedy, is pain and misery.
Because, like we see people fall down and
Yeah.
it's somehow so funny. You're just like, oh my goodness. And everything seems funny until it happens to you, just like Dave Chappelle said. So what's been your experience with that? Like, do you find that, or sometimes do you look specifically at where the pain is and try and find, okay, how can this be funny? Does that kind of make sense? I'm not sure.
It does, because it comes from mimicry. You try to mimic what somebody else did that looked funny. And now the way you bring it out then makes it more funny. Then people laugh more. Yeah, so it came from there. Someone's misery, someone's injury.
Yeah.
Then now it becomes, you make it funny.
sometimes comes from your own as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Like in nursery school, primary school, I had the things that used to be said to me. Kids are mean. The things they say to you. And whether it's because you're short or because of your, I don't know, your tribe or your cultural background, or you guys were broke. You used to come to school with socks that
because Mchongoanos are pretty mean.
Or even the way you eat. There's a guy trending on TikTok. And I was asking my friend, does this guy, do people pay him? Because he appears in different accounts, different people's accounts, and the way he eats. I think it's from Central Africa. The way he puts ugali in his mouth. So that is it's the guy is probably is not okay.
Yeah.
But now people are making
People are
fun.
making fun.
Yeah.
But now, like for instance, encountering bullies. So when I was in primary school, there were lots of people who used to want to be bullies. Now I wasn't scared of them, but walikuwa wananisumbua. So because you're shorter than them, getting into a fight, I got into many fights. Like I didn't care. But getting into fights is not helpful. You know, folks always being called and everything. So at some point, I had as a defense mechanism, wit. So I used to try to read a lot of books. Then you crack a joke, you make fun of the guy in a way that he can't retaliate. Or you just say something really silly. And after a while, they are more interested in what you're saying. So they'll show up, pretend they're going to bully you just so that you say something funny. Yeah. And after a while, you get your wit gets sharper and sharper. So you get used to doing that. And you don't realize that was a coping mechanism.
Defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because now it makes because now people, you have supporters. People are laughing. People so all these people will defend you.
Yeah.
In a way. Now that guy can't do anything. The same thing with I've talked about Moi. He realized there is nothing I can do to these guys. These guys are making the whole country laugh. Yeah. With my name.
Yeah.
So if I do something bad to them, it's going to backfire on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to, it sounds to me like you guys are saying comedy or laughter has what's the word? Like an analgesic effect to pain. Basically, it elevates pain. So, why is it that we observe in society the funniest people oftentimes are the saddest?
First of all, 12 marks for using the word analgesic in a sentence. But think about, this is something I thought about a lot, especially after people like Robin Williams and a few others. It's the way you might have someone who is a finance manager in a company, but the home finances are a mess. Or you
take home.
Yeah, you don't bring work home. And so while you're able to twist and find the optimism or the sunshine in a certain situation, for other people, you yourself might not be able to. And you might need someone to do it for you. But now a lot of these comedians, some of them are introverts, or they isolate themselves after a show, social battery meisha, usisumbue. And then now in that isolation, it gets darker and darker, and they don't have anyone to do that for them, to show them the light, to point them in the right direction. And so sometimes it does happen, and especially if you're running into people every day and are you ever serious? All they want from you is as a joke. It actually happened to me when I was a radio presenter. And so I was a radio presenter in a Christian station for 5 years. Prime time, like drive and then breakfast. For 5 years. 3 of those years were spent being told by the people within the church, stop making us laugh. So I was told, like, there was one text, I'll never forget that text. It's someone who is very well known within that particular church. And she said, if we wanted to laugh, we would listen to classic. Mind you, I'm not making people laugh using the same type of humor that these other guys are. It's just, for me, it's just the way I talk, the way I communicate and all that. Yeah. So when the expectation is boxed, there was a time I came on air and I really was struggling mentally. It was hard. Throughout, you're on air, you prepare, it's like you're preparing even for a church service. So you're giving guys encouragement. And people are always saying, I'm going through this and all that. This one day I just said, I don't know what's happening, guys, but I actually need you to encourage me. Send in messages and I'll read them out. Hopefully they'll also encourage other people. So I gave that caveat. So it's not just about me. Send some encouragement. If I'm going through something, or I'm feeling a certain way, what would you say to me? Here, there are people who sent good messages and encouraging messages, but there were a number of them who came and said, we don't care what you're going through. Whoa. We are here for you to entertain us. You sort your issues elsewhere, then you come and encourage us. We don't care what you're going through. And so if that's the expectation when you appear in society, like imagine someone like Njugush walking, Ati Njugush says he's sad. People are going to believe him. Someone like Mamito says she's going through, people are going to believe her. Any kind of comedian, if that's the expectation, you're not going to get any help or direction from this outside world. So when you isolate yourself, you don't bring work home. So you don't have that ability to lift yourself out of a hole.
I was just going to say the same thing. Expectations from society. The expectation is that you're always happy until people forget that you're actually human.
Yeah.
That you have this human side in you that needs to be cared for. You also need to be cared for. So when all these things happen, they leave you in your own shadow somewhere at the corner, and you unalilia kwa choo.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you enter everywhere you go, people, there are places I go and people say, hey, mazee huyu jamaa leo atatuchekesha kabisa. This guy is here. Yeah? And that time I'm going through my own challenges in life.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm thinking about my children, fees. Maybe I'm not even feeling well. But people they expect you to all of a sudden brighten this room and make us laugh all the time. And you'll find people looking at you. You can't even go to church and pray. If you open your eyes early enough, you'll find guys didn't close their eyes. They are looking at you.
Of course, they're looking like this.
They are looking like, hey, yani huyu jamaa. Yani when he also plays, like he's serious like this.
Yeah.
And that time you probably genuinely needed divine intervention, divine consolation.
Yeah.
Hapo ndio sasa inafanya that's why you will find most the comedians they are actually the saddest people, because they suppress this their feelings so many times that it blows.
What for you, Yafesi mentioned avoiding isolation and trying to put yourself in a community as a way of trying to avoid that. For you, what works when you feel all boxed in and you don't feel like you have any outlet where you can just be allowed to just be authentically, I am feeling this way. I am not trying to make anyone funny.
For me, I'm happy that I have a very good family, siblings, my own family, and a very good close-knit friends who know me as myself. We talk about serious things, talk about other things apart from comedy.
Yeah.
But when we go somewhere else, they see that comedy in me, and they actually they laugh with the others, but they know that this guy, he's human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of a sad note, but I think it's very important to speak about it, especially because it's something we are observing in society with our comedians and their mental health. But just to change lanes a little bit, Showmax is no longer going to exist in the near future. I think it's been 11 years in existence. I just want a reaction from
that.
Both
Is
of you.
A ship that is going to sink with a lot of people, very unfortunately. It is sad that we have reached there. I just don't know. I hope there is another silver lining somewhere that's coming for artists to show their talent.
For sure.
Hey, for a lot of people, they will be hit hard by this because it's not the first time this has happened. Whether it's a platform being discontinued or budgets being slashed or just change of direction and all, we already have quite a bit of let me not call it suffering in the arts, because always you artists are always complaining. But when you look at, for instance, people telling actors, why can't you guys be like Hollywood? Then you tell them, okay, sir, bro, come, sit down. Hollywood, if you do a movie, a limited release is, say, 500 to 1,000 screens?
Yes.
In a country that has maybe 40,000 plus screens.
Yeah.
So, like, big budget movies, those ones do 10,000, 20,000 screens.
Yeah.
Kenya, how many screens do you have? Hata hazijafika 40. So when you do, and you're not going to show on all of them, of course,
No.
you maybe do 2 cinemas. If you're lucky, 2 of them, that's
Anger.
maybe, might do 2-3 screens at most at a time. How are you supposed to recoup these budgets with our beautiful technology, the way the Tanzanians notice we have the tech, we have the equipment, we have the talent and all that stuff. It's expensive to produce film, to produce TV shows. It's really an expensive investment. But if you can't recoup it, even talking to investors, people who would come and give you either grants or funds. Now, if you don't have a distribution plan, and now platforms are shutting down, you don't have a way of showing them how this money will come back, then it makes it even harder to produce. So that's the ripple effect where I can't go to investors and show them the money coming back.
Yeah.
And then on this other side, platforms haziko tena. Sasa hakuna kazi. Sasa or the projects that were already running. Now they have to be...
You have to stop them.
As off the top of your head, how do actors adjust? How do we adjust in a space where we know one of the major VOD platforms that was offering opportunities on screen now no longer exists?
We just have to find other ways of convincing the audience here that we are relevant in society and that we are very useful and they should come to us. We work together. I don't want to talk about they come and support us. We work together. It's a good partnership that it's a win-win. Everybody is going to win. The corporates, we need to find ways of convincing. They have the money. The money is there.
Yeah.
How do you convince them to think outside the box?
Yeah.
Because once again, the formatted thinking, the boxing thinking, this is the only way we can promote our brand. This is the only way we can invest in this and that. And also the infrastructure, investing, the priorities of the government. We can say all the right words, but the reality, when theaters are shutting down also, it's not just the platforms.
They are little theater.
Yeah. And then like you're seeing the people with the best auditoriums are schools. And so now out here, we don't have our largest auditorium.
And churches,
Yeah.
where you're not allowed to perform.
And they're not even formatted for
They
that.
are not even formatted
for
stage,
performance.
performance.
So it's where is the infrastructure? Where is that partnership where we can say, okay, fine, we have a 2,000-seater auditorium in this place. We have a 500-seater there. We have this. So that's part of our distribution plan.
Yeah.
That actors can even decide, okay, TV is not working for now.
Yeah.
Let me do stage production and still earn a living.
Yeah.
Let me do this kind of production, still earn a living.
Yeah.
But right now we are way...
Probably going to be good, maybe in the long run.
Yeah.
Because we are going to start probably having corporate nights where companies are going to find other ways of engaging with their clients, with their staff.
Yeah.
So that's probably where we'll probably get that niche.
And we'll need to collaborate a bit more. Diversify.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't just be about a specific type of presentation. Diversify. Add music. Add movement. Add whatever it is. Not just straight plays or this kind of dramas. Get innovative even in the type of content. So the new platform might not just want those dramas for ukiwainiambia hivyo tena na kwambia nitakukata. So it's like maybe add some stuff.
Collaborative efforts. Comedians, I don't think the world will be the same without them. I think pointing out the absurdities and pain from real life while trying to make someone laugh, I think it takes more of a toll and more of a cost on any creative. And today we've really enjoyed that conversation on comedy. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Bwana David Opondoe and Yafesi Musoke. Just before I let them leave the studio, please, guys, G-plug. Is there anything you're working on? Any TV show that's still currently running? Please tell your fans where they can find you online. Because I think we are always trying to push for more mentorship and trying to find more people that young actors can look up to and follow in their footsteps. So please, where can guys find you online? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, and tell us if there's anything coming up, whether it's a stage play, a TV show, a movie, whatever it is.
Okay, trying to work with the corporates again to try and find a different space for actors.
Yeah.
And that is news that I'm going to tell you in the near future. Something that's going to change the industry. Shake the industry. Watch this. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, David_Dabo. And on Instagram, same David_Dabo. And on TikTok, simply David Opondoe or Mayweather. Thank you.
Mayweather. Hey. All right. Hey, for me, what am I working on? We are having a restaging of the award-winning Bad Girls of the Bible. That's the one where won the award for writing, and there are people. Anyway, the award-winning, it's coming back. I was on the writing team for the series, the new. I don't know if it's new now, but Adam to Eve.
Yeah.
Also working on a few other things which will be revealed in future. Hata mimi niko na suspense praise. But I also have been working. There are some master classes to also have to duplicate myself, try and train other people. It's not just about me. So the master classes, look out for those. And how you look out for them? Follow me at Yafesi Musoke on Instagram. On TikTok, I am at Yafesi the MC because I do corporate MCing. Hi so much. Hi completely. You want an MC who can actually speak big words like analgesic, but still crack a joke that makes your CEO laugh with a clear conscience. That's your first for you. That's what's up. Yeah.
Thank you for watching Cast on Q. This platform exists to create a serious space for actors to talk about the craft, the business, and the realities of building a sustainable career in Kenya's film industry. Follow Cast on Q across all our social media platforms for episode clips, behind-the-scenes content, and updates on any upcoming conversations. If you're an actor out there, join the Kenya Actors Guild by scanning the QR code on our screens right now. And if you would like to support this platform through sponsorship or a partnership, our email is in the description below. If you want to help us with crowdfunding, the different support tiers are on the screen and in the description below. Cast on Q is community powered. See you all in the next episode.